Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and everyone is able to see my screen. If possible, can someone please confirm if you are able to hear me clearly and able to see my screen?
Yes, Vijay, we can.
Yeah, thank you. There is a delay, sir. My call got delayed actually. I'm really sorry for that. Okay. So yesterday I have discussed about Angular services. Any other questions before I proceed further on the Angular services? I recommended you need to type the code where we removed at the rate of output, event binding, event emitters, all those things we removed, and we injected the dependencies through services. We injected the dependency through services. That is what we were able to achieve that. Okay. So I wrote the code and I've given the code and I recommended everyone to type the code. On top of that, if you're not able to understand anything, I'll take care. Otherwise, I'll proceed further on the next important topic in the Angular, which is routing. Okay. Any other question before I start further on the routing, guys? Okay. Everyone is comfortable, right? Okay. So this is a very, very important topic, which is routing. Again, I will explain this routing with a project, some kind of project I'm going to explain. Okay. All the scenarios, we are going to type the code with the project so that you will get a real-time experience. Okay. Right. So, which is equal to Angular routing. First of all, what is the meaning of a routing? What exactly the meaning of a routing? Why we need routing? This is what I'm going to give an introduction for that actually. Okay. What is the meaning of a routing? Why we need routing? What is the importance of routing? So till now in our Angular project, assuming that how many components I created, sir, so far? So far 20 to 25 components I created, right? So far, assuming that. Okay. Now, if I want to load a specific component, if I want to load a specific component, let's say I want to load 10th component. I have created 25 components. Okay. Let's say I want to load 10th component, guys, here. Right? Let's say I'm planning to load 10th component. What I'll do here, I'll go to root component and I will bootstrap the 10th component metadata into the root component and I'm going to load the directory. And that is what I'm going to do. For example, if I want to load 15th component, if I want to load 15th component here, okay, then that 15th component, I'm going to bootstrap that. I'm going to load that actually. 15th component, I'm going to bootstrap that and I'm going to load that actually. But is it a right way? In real time, I cannot do this, right? Like this in a project. So as of now in the class, I'm teaching so that I'm going to app.component.html. I'm going to bootstrap the respective component here. Correct, right? I'm going to bootstrap the respective component here. Am I right, guys? But in a project, we cannot do that approach, right? So what we are going to do here, I should get an option or I should see some menu kind of option, menu or some kind of options where if I click that, like 15 links I need to have. I have 15 components. I'm going to have 15 links. If I click on any of the link, then that component should be bootstrapped. Correct, right? That component should be bootstrapped. Something I need a better approach. I need a better design. I need a better component approach where which component I want, that component I need to bootstrap it. Which component we need, that component we need to bootstrap it. So that is the main purpose of routing here. Okay. What is the purpose of routing? Bootstrapping respective component at runtime and loading that particular component. That is called as routing. Okay. So Angular created a routing module. Angular creates a routing module. Angular creates a routing module which will dynamically help, or which will dynamically bootstrap, the respective component. Angular creates a routing module which will dynamically bootstrap the respective component at runtime. At runtime, this is a routing module. Angular creates a routing module which will dynamically bootstrap the respective component at runtime and complete memory management will be taken care by routing module. And completely will be taken care by routing module. What is the memory management, guys? What is the meaning of memory management? For example, I am loading products component, right, sir? I am loading products component. All the data structures which I used, product.json, product.object, whatever the data structures I used in the products module, which always to be used, and whenever I load a next component here, okay, the previous components, whatever the things we have, okay, whatever the previous components we are going to have, so those components we are going to have on the typical, those components, all the data structures will be cleared and the new component data structures will be aligned. Developer no need to create anything here. Typically, developer no need to create any kind of the module here. All these routing module which is going to take care of that action. Okay, this is the introduction portion of routing module. Also, routing module which has the concept of routing guards. Routing module which has the concept of routing guards, where we can achieve authentication and authorization. Routing module which has a concept of routing guards, routing module internally having a routing guard, where we can achieve authentication as well as authorization, or we can achieve security. What is the security? Authentication as well as authorization. Routing module which has a concept of routing guards, where we can achieve security in Angular application. Understand? Why we need security, sir? For example, sir, I have 20 components. Okay, I cannot give the access to everyone those 20 components, right? I cannot give the access to 20 components, right, guys? Yes or no? For example, I have a computer, sir. In my company, I have a computer. Okay, print button is there in my computer. In my computer, laptop, I have a print button that is disabled for me. But my manager has a print button should be enabled. Correct, right? So what is it actually? Print button should be enabled for managerial role. Print button should be disabled for developer's role. Correct, right? Print component I want to provide only for managers, not for developers. Correct, right? For example, payslip. Every employee can see his payslip, but a manager can see He is the payslip as well as he is the team member payslips. That is also right. So complete a security, which is authentication as well as authorization, that is typically achieved by the routing module. Routing module has a concept of routing guards where we can achieve security, authentication, and authorization inside the Angular application. Understand? So far clear, guys? Any questions on the introduction portion of routing module? Anyone, any question, guys, so far? Right.
Sir, the memory management you said, right?
Yes, sir.
The runtime and the complete memory management taken care of in routing module. So it is something like in Java HTTP session, I think HTTP session, something
No.
like that.
No. Good question. Very good question. I'll show you I'll explain things. Okay. For example, sir, I have my first project, which we wrote, right, sir?
Yes.
For example, in the countries component.ts, guys, I declared a result, sir, here. Okay. And the result is having what? A JSON or data, right, sir? Some 250 countries or 300 countries data this result is having.
Yes.
Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
So this result data structure is live when my country's component is active. Correct, right? When my country's component is active, this result data is live. DOM has access where this result is saved in the memory, in the temp percentage in Windows operating system. Somewhere else, the result memory variable will be stored over here. Correct, right? In the browser temporary memory, Chrome, something like all the temporary memories variables will be stored over here. Correct, right? Yes. Now, I cannot keep as it is in the same temporary memory. Whenever I unload country's component, assuming that I'm unloading country's component, I'm going to employee details component. Now, in employees details component, employees data structure. So, what I need to do here, I need to deallocate the result data structure. I need to allocate employees data structure. That is the memory management. Okay? And whatever session you are thinking, whatever the session you are telling, right? Yes. By default, in Angular, we don't have a concept of session. Did we use any session variable till now here? No. We have not used any session variable. Okay? Because Angular does not deal with why session variable is not used here? Client-side rendering, right?
Yes.
It's a completely client-side rendering, right? Whenever server-side rendering is there, then, first page information save here, second page information save here, so that I'll get the data from server. But everything is client-driven. So no concept of session level data, but intentionally you want to keep some session level data, which we are going to explain. Okay? That session level data is not part of regular memory management. Regular memory management is regular management is whatever the context I'm telling here, as part of routings is concerned. As part of routings is concerned, whatever the data structures created by the Angular developer in that component, those will be destroyed on ng on destroy, and the next component will be initialized on the ng on it method. The data structures which are created by the Angular developer. Make sense? It's a very good question, Kannan. I answered actually, right? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Anyone on the introduction portion of routings? As of now, any questions from anyone on the introduction portion of routings, guys?
Sir, there are some roles management also, or role or user management.
Good question. Just now I explained, right? OS management is not part of routing, sir. It's not part of routing.
Not
Angular,
OS, sir.
Mhm.
User or role management.
Correct.
In
User
in
management.
case of
Okay.
of
Complete.
authentication or authorization. Yeah.
Yeah. Completely backend should take care, right? Because this user, this role, who will have the data? As an Angular developer, we cannot persist the data. We cannot persist any data. Even if JWT is there, only we will keep the JWT token in the memory. I'm going to keep the JWT token in the memory. That's a temporary memory, not a user level memory. That is the part of session memory. Just now I told, right, there is some kind of session memory is available, but in JWT use case, it is applicable. But users, roles, user to roles, all those things are managed by the backend. Front end doesn't come into picture. Got it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other question from anyone? Okay. Now, in Angular prior to 17, guys, Angular prior to 17, there is a lot of things we need to do here. We need to do a lot of things here. Like we have an app.module.ts. That's a global registration. I told, right, app.module.ts. That's a global registration file I have here. Inside the global registration file, okay, what I'm going to do here, I need to add router module. Okay, inside global registration module, we need to have global registration module over here. Okay, that is called as a router module. Global registration module, that is called as a router module over here, guys. Here. So what I'm trying to say here, inside a global module, where we are going to have typically router module, we need to write, and we need to create a router constants. We need to create a router constants over here, guys. Here. Okay. What is the meaning of router constant here? Which component, which I am clicking, what I am loading. That is called as a router constants, which is a key and value pair here, which is nothing but key and value pair. If I click on home, home component should come. If I click on employees, employees component should come. Something like I'm going to prepare a key value pair over here. Okay, I'm going to have a key value pair here. Inside that key value pair, okay, inside that key value pair here, by default, key will be the home, that is localhost 4200. Okay, localhost 4200 and slash home, then home component will be having localhost 4200 slash employees. Employees component should be there here. Okay, and if at all, if it is not matching, something like page not found component is going to load here. So this is how we are going to typically taking care of this router module, and we are going to load router module dot for root. This is completely Angular prior to 17, but this complete complexity is gone, guys. We no need to do any such concept here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give some steps, guys, here. Steps to run router project. Because I create a project, right, guys? Steps to run a router example project. I create a project, sir, without routings. Now, in the project, I will add routing. Okay? Step 1. Inside step 1, download routings before .zip. Routings underscore before .zip. Maybe in the meanwhile, I'll create a project. It is going to take some time, guys, here. Yeah. So I'm going to create a folder here. Training, Angular, Ashok IT, Angular, inside Angular. I'm going to create a new project. How to create new project? ng new routings project. Routings project. This is my project name. Okay. It will take some time, right? Let it create here. So in the meanwhile, download routings.zip from Ashok IT portal. Okay. And unzip it and key and store in CRD drive somewhere else. This is my first step, guys, here. Okay. So we download it. This is my, okay. After that, it's created. CD routings project. Need to install Bootstrap. npm install --save Bootstrap at the rate of 3.4.1. So next step is, what's the next step, guys? Create new Angular project with ng new routings project. Create a new Angular project with routings project here. Okay. And install the Bootstrap style sheet. So run the command npm install --save Bootstrap at the rate of 3.4.1. Run the command npm install --save Bootstrap at the rate of 3.4.1 by navigating to routings project folder. By navigating to routings project folder here. This is what we did, right, guys? After that, replace the complete app folder from shared project from routings underscore before .zip file. Replace the complete app folder from routings underscore before folder with app folder available in the routings project. Okay. Whatever the code I wrote inside routings underscore before, the same code I need to keep here. Understand, right, sir? Now, what I'm doing here, By default, we are going to download routings underscore zip file, routings underscore before.zip, and we need to save in the C drive or a D drive, and we need to create a new Angular project, and we need to install Bootstrap style sheet. But you need to go to the Bootstrap style sheet only in the project folder. That is, into that project folder, we need to do that. After that, replace the app folder, which is available in routings underscore before, and we need to keep in the routings project here. Understand? So what are the app folder here? This app folder I'm copying. And inside this routings project, here app folder is there, right? I replaced it. Okay. So next I need to open Visual Studio Code. I need to refer Bootstrap style sheet, right guys? Open folder inside C:, training, Angular, Ashok IT, Angular, routings project, which I need to load here. And inside angular.json, I need to download the Bootstrap style sheet. Inside that, Bootstrap, dist, CSS, bootstrap.min.css. So here, I need to copy this. So which is so this is what I'm referring here. Node modules, Bootstrap, dist, CSS, bootstrap.min.css. We referred, right, guys? That's it, guys. ng sir. I'm writing inside these notes here. Next step is refer Bootstrap style sheet. Inside Angular.json file in the style section. In the style section, refer the Bootstrap style sheet file, okay, which we are going to do here. Where I'm going to load here. So this is what I'm going to load here. Okay, refer the Bootstrap style sheet inside Angular.json file in the style section, right? So here my project is running, guys, where localhost :4200. This is what? This is the output you need to get it, guys. This kind of output you need to get it. You're able to see that? This is a project, sir, without routing, sir. This is a project is without routings. Now we need to add the routing section to this project. Okay. So we have totally 3 main components, 3 parent components, 9 child components. 3 main component, 9 child components. We are going to have total 3 main parent components, and we are going to have child components as a 9. First one is home is a parent, product is a parent, customer is a parent here. Okay. So after project is running, we will see the below hierarchy in the browser. What is the first below hierarchy? Home component or home section, which is home component. Next, products section, which is equal to product list component. After that, edit product component, view product component. Product section, product list component, edit product component, view product component here. Is that it? Inside home section, home component, inside product section, product list component, edit product component, as well as view product component here. After that, okay, users section, or is it a customer or a user? Customer. Where I am going to have customer section, where customer list component, view customer component. Total 6 components, guys, here. 3 major sections, 3 parent components, 6 child components. We'll see the below hierarchy into the folder structure. Home component is one component, product list is another component, edit product is another component, view product is another component, customer list is another component, view customer is another component here. Totally, we are going to have 6 components in the list here. Okay. How can we see this, guys? This is home component, guys. You're able to see that, right? Maybe I will write this. So this is my section, guys, here. This is my home component, guys, here. This is my home component. Right? First component. This is, what is this, guys? List customers. This is called as list page. List customers. Right? This is view customer. View customer. Correct, right, guys? This is product list. This is product list. This is view product. This is view product. This is edit product. You're able to see that, guys? Home component, product list component, view user component, edit product component, view product component. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Total, you're able to see 6, right, guys? Sir, you're able to see total 6. Am I right, guys? Sir, everyone is followed, sir, please. Everyone is clear so far.
Yes, yes, Vijay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
This is what you need. I mean, so what I did, sir, I wrote all 6 components here. And I prepared a khichdi. Everyone knows khichdi, right? Everything is mixed up. Now I want to separate it. If I click home, home should come. If I click products, I need to get list products. If I click a list, view products. If I click a edit, edit product. And if I click customers, list customer. If I click a particular customer, that customer. Something like that, I need to separate this. I need to add a routings here. After that, we will add a God section. Routing God section we will add. So this is what I'm going to explain in upcoming classes. Next 1 week, only on this project, guys. Only on this project I'm going to cover. Maybe it will take 3, 4 days or 5 days. I don't know exactly. After that forms, then immediately your project will start, guys. I think Mr. Ashok sir is waiting to start the project. Just he is waiting for my Angular course. Mostly 1 week or mostly 1 week is required for me. Okay, where I'll complete the routings and forms so that you can readily work on the project here. So what are the basic knowledge is required to work on the project? If routings is completed, forms are completed, then you can work easily on the project here. So this is what our upcoming agenda. Everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, Vijay.
Right. So let
Sir,
me
uh,
share.
Sir, what is the purpose of that app.config.ts file, sir?
I'll explain, sir. I'm not covered that, right?
Okay, sure.
I'm going to explain that because we need to add a routing, right?
Yes,
Now
yes.
I'll explain app.config.ts where we need to write route.ts. All those things I'm going to explain.
Okay,
What I did today, what I explained, sir, what is a routing?
yes, sir.
What is the purpose of routing?
Yes, sir.
And how to download the project which I gave. How to work with my project. How to set up my project. Because if you set up this project, then only you can work on, right?
Yes, sir.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I'm going to explain how to set up routing, how to create a router module. Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
And what are the changes we need to add a router module and what we need to do in the routing. That is what I'm going to explain. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
And let me share the notes over here so far. Let me save here. Yeah. Sir, today itself, my Spring Boot batch demo is over, sir. New classes are started. If any one of your friends are looking on a Spring Boot, morning 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It started already. Okay. Just updating here. So routing notes. So let me. Training Angular Ashok IT Angular running notes. This is here. inside download, routing before, and PPT also I'm giving, sir. I'm giving PPT also, sir. Running nodes, routing before, routing product. Okay. Routing initial nodes. Right, sir? Now, let me share this. Upload notes. Routing introduction. So I uploaded the notes, guys. I am requesting tomorrow you should be ready till here. Everyone will be available till here, right? Sir, it's a very, very interesting class, guys. You will enjoy these routings, guys. You are going to enjoy this routing class. It's a very, very important, sir. And in your career, it's very, very important. At least 3 to 4 questions comes in the interview, guys. Minimum 3 to 4 questions will come in the interview. I can assure that. Okay? Right. Any other question before I wrap further? Any other question before I wrap for today, guys? Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you.